Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. My channel is about marriage to a woman from the Philippines. So I like to talk about topics that you should know if you're serious about such a relationship. Today I want to talk about time. Does your Filipina know how much time you have? So please subscribe here, Love Beyond the Sea. Leave me a comment. You can go to private message, direct message on TikTok, or you can contact me at lovebeyondthesea4you@gmail.com, and the 4 is the number 4. So this video, I'm not talking about the May-December age gap relationship when I say how much does your Filipino know how much time you have. One thing that comes up a lot is I hear guys say, I don't have the time to spend online with the Filipina doing video chats, particularly, I suppose, since those are the most important, because I have to work. Now, maybe some of you are retired, but maybe that also doesn't mean you have unlimited time each day to talk to her. There are times now, since I'm retired, where I feel like I'm just as busy as I was when I was working. Can any of you relate to that? By the way, for age gap relationships, I've got plenty of those on YouTube in a playlist called Younger Wife. I think that's what it's called. So as far as time, I spent about 4 hours a day. That's a lot of time. Not everybody has that much time. How did we do it? About an hour and a half before work, which was before she went to bed over there in Davao City. And then when I came home, went to the gym, ate, showered, all that stuff, I could devote the rest of my time to her that day. So we're talking about another 2.5 hours, which was in her morning before she, let's say, got started for work. And that worked out well for us. I've seen many people say the same thing. Now, there's no magic number. There's no magic number. I had one guy at work at the time telling me that I'm talking to my girlfriend too much, and it should have been in his mind only about, maybe 15 minutes at a time. And not every day, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Now, to me, if you're serious about finding a wife overseas, little about, you can't just go out and grab a cup of coffee with her. So you got to spend a lot of time talking. In my opinion, you do need more than just half an hour a day. Even if it was every day, if that's all you have, make the most of it, but do it regularly. We did it this way more on the weekend. If I wasn't working, we probably spent 6 or 7 hours a day, which helped us to get married in less than 8 weeks. I proposed on day 18. But does the Filipina know how much time you have? You just have to be honest with her and say, look, I'm working. Here's when I get up. I have to drive to work. Maybe I'm on the freeway, can't be distracted, with my phone or, looking at you on video. And then I usually get home, but then I have these responsibilities to do after work. So we might not be able to talk in my morning. We might be able to talk in your evening. And you find out her schedule, and you might find out you have far less time to commit to her than she would like to have. Maybe less than you would like to have. But the problem is when she doesn't trust you because she doesn't know why you don't talk to her more. Why don't you have 4, 5, 6 hours a day? Why aren't you available 24/7? Maybe she talked to another foreigner or more at one time. Their situation was different than yours, and they did have literally all day to talk to her. Maybe they lived in a more user-friendly time zone than you do, because men from all over the world show interest in women from the Philippines. Where I am in America, because of daylight saving time, I think you have either a 13 or 14 hour time zone difference, which really doesn't work out that bad. But be prepared if you say, look, I really like you. I really want to get to know you more, but you're calling me a bit too much, and I can't talk to you that often. No, it's not that I'm seeing other women, because she might say, well, the reason you can't talk to me all the time is because you're involved with somebody else. And you can say, no, here, let's say in the United States of America, we have to work. Maybe you work 6 days a week. Maybe you work 8 to 10 hours a day, and you have other responsibilities. I'm not saying you can't have other hobbies. Those are always important too. And it's important to carve out time, good quality time, to talk to her. But her situation in the Philippines may be where she has a lot of time, and she may not realize that over here, very often in the West, men don't have that kind of time. If he gives her an hour a day, or an hour 4 or 5 days a week, or maybe can only talk on the weekends, it just depends how busy your week is, then she just has to accept that. That has no bearing on your feelings for her, and you may have to remind her of this multiple times. In fact, as with money, it may be very difficult for her to understand that I have this window of time in the morning, or this window of time in the evening. I have no time anywhere else. I just don't. Maybe your work schedule doesn't have regular breaks, and you have to explain to her, this is how it is. This is how it is living here in the West. We're busy. We have lots of time commitments, and I want to give you all the time that I can. And realize if you're still going to be working, if she comes to your country, she also needs to know that even then, if you're married and she's in your country, you may not have nearly as much time with her as she thinks you should have. Now, you should have more, I guess, because you're married, but if you're still working, you still have other things to do. She may just be bored a lot, which is why I recommend that she be allowed to go somewhere and work if she wants to, and have money for herself and money for her family. But the time thing can be an issue, because you could be wondering, and let me know if you've experienced this, or if you know somebody that has, or you've read somebody that has. You say, look, I'm constantly being bombarded by her wanting to chat, and I don't think she trusts me. I've done everything I can to let her know that you can trust me. I just only have so much time, and there's some things I just cannot drop, like my work schedule or whatever else, to spend time with you. So you may have to show her your schedule, nothing wrong with that, and ask her to show you her schedule during Monday through Friday and during the weekend. Some Filipinas don't have much time to talk to you either, on the other side of the coin, and they may work 2 or 3 jobs, and it's hard to get time with them. So this time issue can be a problem, but the focus of this video was for her knowing how much time do you have, not to live. If there's an age gap relationship, then you don't have much time, not compared to her. But as far as getting to know each other, be upfront. There's no set, template for how much time to talk to each other. And while I still have time, I think it's worth saying that you could talk to her for 5 hours a day and really get nowhere, and just talk about silly things, which I didn't want to do. I wanted to talk about getting married. And before I forget, on YouTube, there's a playlist about questions to ask your Filipina. This can help you get the most out of your conversation time, video chatting with her. There's a video there that talks about icebreakers, questions to ask, not silly things, questions to ask that you can still learn about each other. And then, when you're getting a little bit more serious, questions get more serious. When you're ready to propose, questions get more serious. And then you find out if you're meant for each other. And even bunch of questions you can ask when you're married. So keep these things in mind when you're pursuing love beyond the sea.